Hello, hello, I'm Kads, and welcome back to the Free-to-Play Review. So today's topic is going to be a continuation of the Spooktober themed events. Ooh. And so we have the Cursed Masquerade Path here, which is pretty decent overall, I must say. There's a lot of different paths to this one, a lot of different choices you can make, and we'll break down some of the best options for you. But if we have a good amount of Titan points in this, I think it's a total of 350, somewhere around there. Primal Shard, Void Shard, we've got the Cursed, or no, what's it called? The whatever Masquerade Ball skin for Kale, and the Madame Saris skin as well. We've got a couple of avatars, 2 legendary tomes up for grabs, and then 2 mythical tomes up for grabs. Now, the key thing here, pun intended, is that you do start with 1 key, so keep that in mind, so you can pick whichever path you want to as far as using the keys once you get down there, assuming you get down there. And then you would have to get all the way down the bottom, either through one of the tomes, one of the types of tomes, in order to get another key to go back and get one of the avatars, for example, or get the middle legend tome, however you want to approach it. But just keep that in mind. You do start with 1 key, so pick your first path accordingly. So how do you get points in this iteration of the hero's path? So if we take a look here, I'm kind of blocking it so you guys can't see it, but if we go to the info tab, you can see that it is champion training plus artifact enhancement plus Soul Rush. So if you want to pull your soul stones for this, you definitely can. I will not be doing that. Or upgrading artifacts is definitely a good thing to do, especially if you skip the last fusion, which had a bunch of artifact enhancements, and you might be a little higher on silver. And champion training, something you could always do it every single time, and we love when there's a champion training mixed into these types of events. So how much is this path going to cost? So let's first of all isolate a couple of objectives that I think that people would want to go for. The first one being, let's call it the Titan path. And so that means that you get every single one of the Titan event points that is collectible, and that thankfully ends all here. Unfortunately, I guess thankfully it ends in the top section, but unfortunately you do have to go down every single column here in order to get all of the Titan event points. But if you were to do all of that using the minimum amount required for each of those paths, it would cost a total of 45,000 points. If you were to say that you wanted to go for just 1 legendary tome, meaning probably the first one here, this is the most optimal and closest. So again, taking the minimum path all the way through, something like, I guess the Epic Tome is cheaper. So down the center, around here, Epic Tome, through here, opening this with the 1 key you get, 10,000 points. So that path is only 21,000 points. So it's actually a lot cheaper if you're thinking of, well, the Titan event has a legendary tome, and this event has a legendary tome, and I don't want to do all the work for 1 tome in the Titan event. Then honestly, 21,000 points for a legendary tome when you can do it with champion training and artifact enhancement, pretty good deal. So that's probably what I recommend for a lot of people to go for. And then of course, if you were to try to pursue the second legendary tome, risk right underneath it, obviously it's cheaper to go with the Kale skin, and then it would only cost you 34,000 points. But you know, you might want to go for the Madame Saris skin, so then that's just going to cost even more. But 34,000, taking the cheapest way to get both of the legendary tomes. And lastly, with the advent of the Lady Mikage fusion coming into the game, some of you might be in the more in the market for mythical tomes. So similar to the legendary tome, if you wanted to follow that down the least paths, so coming down here, Epic Tome, through this, probably through the Void Shard, that's the cheapest, open this key, and then get the avatar. I mean, this is the cheapest way, but if you want to go and get the other avatar because you care more about that, you can just go from here still to the Primal Shard or the oil and get that one. Doesn't really matter. But coming down this Void Shard route and then coming all the way down 20,000 points for the Mythical Tome, it's going to cost you 39,000 points. So like I said earlier, there are tons of options for what you can do, so you can pretty much pick and choose how you want to approach this. There isn't as much to show this time around, but nonetheless, for the sake of consistency, we can hop over to the spreadsheet to look at the total of each of the rewards. So you can see here, these are my calculations for adding up each of the paths that I identified. So the Titan path, the Legendary 1, Legendary 2, which is a continuation of Legendary 1, and then the Mythical Tome path. So those are the totals that I specified. And there's no Dungeon Diver, so you can ignore this section and this section as well. However, there is champion training, so it might be useful just to understand how many points you're going to get, or how many coins or whatever you're going to get for doing champion training. So the difference between these two rows is that per capita just means one instance of whatever chicken you're making. So this is how many points you'd get for making a 2-star from scratch, 3-star from scratch, 4-star, etc., 6-star champion. And cumulative here just means that we're accounting for the fact that, for example, a 3-star chicken requires 2-star chickens in order to make a 3-star chicken, so on and so forth, all the way up to a 6-star champion. So the main takeaway here is that if you essentially just focused on champion training over the next 3 days, that's how long this path event lasts, if you were to make a 6-star champion from scratch, and this does include taking them all the way up to level 52. 52 is where I like to stop for getting the rest of the levels with masteries, but you could take them all the way up to 60, and that would give you a little bit more points overall. But the point is, 22,000 points is essentially enough to get the first legendary tome, which again is what I recommend that a lot of people do. So if you spend energy over the next few days just working on champion training, take at least one champion to 6-star while also creating maybe some other 5-star chickens along the way, you're pretty much guaranteed to get at least one legendary tome. And for myself in particular, I'm going to go a little bit harder than that. I mean, it's a lofty goal. We'll see if I actually make it, but I'm going to try and complete the Titan event or the Titan path, as well as getting the legendary tome as a bonus. And so that is a little bit different because it's not both of those paths combined, because they overlap somewhat, but essentially getting all the way down here, getting all of these unlocks the key, or allows me to unlock the key and then get the tome. So it's 45,000 plus 10,000, so 55,000 would be the Titan path plus getting the legendary tome. So yeah, that's going to be my plan to deal with the Cursed Masquerade Path. I will note here that it is unfortunate that, well, I was expecting this to be partially a summon rush, because as you might know, there is a Pogo event going on right now that I do plan to participate in. I'm 72 shards away maximum from guaranteed, or from being guaranteed to get a legendary, or I guess 2 legendaries in this case. And so I was kind of hoping that this path was going to be partially a summon rush, so I'd get credit for all those ancient shards I'm going to be pulling, but alas, it is not the case. So unfortunate for me. One last thing to note is that the calculator that I showed in that spreadsheet will be linked in the description box down below if you want to check it out for yourself. And I do have that and other different assorted calculators compiled together in that spreadsheet. Deck of Fate, fusion potion calculators, the fusion plans overall. So lots of cool stuff in that spreadsheet if you want to check it out for yourself, linked in the description down below. And also down below is the comment section where you guys can let me know if you are participating in this path, which paths you're going to be taking, and what rewards you are going to be pursuing. As always, if you found this video helpful, then be sure to hit that like button that is also down below. And if you enjoyed the video, then you can hit that subscribe button also down below. Everything is down below. Thanks for watching and have a good one.